10 years ago, on the 15th of July 2013, Dave and I set off to summit the highest peak in the Dolomites, the Marmolada. The two highest summits are Punta Roca at 3,309 metres and Punta Penia, which is the highest point at a height of 3,343 metres. There are two approaches to Punta Penia on foot from the Lago Fedaia. One is via the glacier, the other longer route makes use of a via ferrata which works its way up the west ridge. The via ferrata is moderately graded and does not present any particular technical difficulties. Many parties descend by this route too. However, the height gain and the length of the route are not to be underestimated, and the glacier can be problematic if this route is chosen in either direction. Back in 2013, we took advantage of the bucket lift, which was running at the time, to gain access more quickly to the via ferrata. However, there had been an unusual amount of snowfall, and most of the via ferrata was buried in snow. Without ice axes, we retreated from the Forcella, which is the obvious notch before the West Ridge proper. In 2019, the bucket lift was closed, and on the 3rd of July 2022, at an elevation of 2,800 metres, the lower end of a glacier snapped off, killing 11 people and injuring a further 8. Just prior to this, the area had seen an early heat wave, with the summit of the Marmolada recording abnormally high temperatures of around 10 degrees Celsius. The ice and rock masses fell several hundred metres down the northern slopes to the Lago Fedaia, about 1.5 kilometres below. 10 years and 1 day since our first attempt at ascending the Marmolada, on the 16th of July 2023, we again planned to summit Punta Penia, but discovered that we would have to set off much earlier than anticipated, as we had not realised that the lift was no longer available. So we walked from Lago Fedaia to the ruins of the upper lift, and this time were faced with a lovely route, with the rock exposed and the via ferrata fully accessible. We planned to descend via the glacier, but I could see that it didn't look in perfect condition.
Where we're going is up there. On with the crampons. Quite soft. Well, start the via ferrata after a fairly difficult move off the beginning. The ice having even gone back even further than the guidebook would suggest. And that's the ridge we're going up. Just here. And then you get to here. It's the other way up. Hey, someone's been building.
Did we get this far last time?
I think this is about it. This is where we got to, and it was buried in snow last time.
Much of the via ferrata is equipped with ladders and stemples to aid the steepest sections of the ridge, as well as wires to protect the less steep but still exposed sections. The via ferrata is 400 metres long and the views are outstanding.
And this is a gravelly section we just come across. Look at the peak there. And up there is where we're going now. But that might be the end of the via ferrata. So we get to this gully here.
people we met outside the refuge were filming for Japanese television. They were interviewing the owner, who lives here, is well known on Twitter and apparently makes good homemade cakes. A useful place to stay for the night if the weather is turning or if you fancy a beer. The TV crew interviewed us, so if there are any Japanese viewers watching, you might see us again.
2, 4, 6, 8 bucks. Beer. Red Bull.
I'll pretend I'm not interested and she might just drop the bread. Drop the bread. Drop the bread. Wait a minute. I think it's cheese. Maybe I could make a lunge for it. Oh no! Someone else has seen it now. Go away! I saw it first.
And here's the chuffs. So the bird whisperer.
The descent via the glacier is potentially dangerous and should not be attempted without the appropriate equipment. Check on the state of the glacier, and if you do use this route, follow the prominent ridgeline north until you reach a post where the path makes a sharp right turn. Join a wire cable heading steeply down east to the glacier below.
Down onto the glacier. We're our way out.
The glacier was in a poor state, which I gather is not unusual. In fact, it's the most sketchy descent down a glacier I've experienced. Just before setting foot on the path at the bottom of the wires, we watched a rockfall slide down, depositing the stones inches from the path.
That's where we come from. Very icy glacier. Very soft snow.
Partly melting, partly old and very hard patchy ice, we realised that there was a good reason why many other parties were descending back down the Via Ferrata. I noticed that Dave kept stumbling behind me. We realised that his crampons weren't sharp enough to fully penetrate some of the hard ice patches. Note, make sure your crampons are good for the job and that you carry an ice axe. It's a good idea to rope up and be familiar with glacier travel, no matter how easy the route may be graded. We did find out just in time that the lift was closed. We didn't quite realise. It looks like it's been avalanched or something. We do know there was a big avalanche here a few years ago. So perhaps it just filmed itself over that. It's certainly not going to be a lift down today anyway. 700 metres to descend.
There's the ridge we came down, all the way to the fourth cellar, and then up the northwest ridge. You see the summit right at the top there, and down the glacier. Now heading back down to the valley. Back down to the Fedaia Pass. Back round to where we've come down from. Centre frame. Certainly a very icy glacier. Don't recommend it.
Slowly emerging from the mountainsides surrounding the Marmolada Glacier are the remnants of the City of Ice, once an 8-mile labyrinth of tunnels. The glacier is shrinking at an alarming rate, and after clearing away the ice, the structures are largely intact. Several wooden huts have been found inside the glacier, including an officer's mess and a hospital. In late 1917, the Austrians, aided by the Germans, broke through the Italian lines. The Italians retreated from their mountain-top positions, and the Austrians abandoned the City of Ice to pursue them south. It was never used again. Chin chin.
Cheers, well done, lads. Cheers.
Rarely has a beer felt that good. I hope you've enjoyed this. If so, please show your appreciation by giving it the thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching and see you all soon.